I didn't know what to do. Like, I was just like shaking and almost like near tears, and then I saw my brother get up, and then I just followed right after him. I should get out of here, like that's the best thing to do.
Well, our kids, both of them, my son and daughter, go to Arrowhead Christian Academy here in Redlands. One of the big things at the Arrowhead Christian Academy is their yearbook division. And my daughter has always wanted to be a journalist. My son got involved as a photographer last year. So they won some national awards. And my daughter for a story she wrote, and my son for a photograph that he took. They were able to go to the national convention where the yearbook, which is what this whole convention was about, actually won their best of show.
Well, we were at a national journalism convention in Seattle, and we were going to go to the keynote speaker's speech. And we read his short bio, and so we knew it was going to be probably a little bit controversial, but we weren't expecting what he said. We were sitting near the front, and before you know it, he's just talking about really provocative and profane things. It was extremely uncomfortable. And the next thing you know, he starts going on about the Bible.
The Bible. We'll just talk about the Bible for a second. We can learn to ignore the bull in the Bible.
It was unfit for middle school and high school groups.
The Bible is a radically pro-slavery document.
And how it's BS and all this stuff, and we're all just like looking at each other like, oh my gosh, like I was literally shaking, like I'd never been so offended in my life. And so my brother stood up, and so I just followed him, and I accidentally left all my stuff there because I was just like so out of it. The entire yearbook staff left, and we were just standing in the hallway, and some of the girls were crying, and everyone was just really like shaken, and my yearbook advisor was just trying to, comfort us, and she felt terrible that we had to sit through that. We prayed and stuff. There were a few people who were nearby and they were listening, and they said, amen, like we believe that too. And it was just really surprising because, I don't know, it was nice to know that we weren't the only ones there who were offended, like that we weren't just being like overly sensitive and stuff.
I went online, I looked at it, and I was absolutely floored with what was said. This was a 47-year-old or 48-year-old militant activist who was there with an agenda, and he was pushing it full throttle.
He was speaking about anti-gay bullying, and all of us were against it. None of us wanted anyone to be bullied. But then he started accusing the Christians of being the bullies and of hating gay people, and that's like exactly opposite of what we're called to do.
It's funny, as someone who's on the receiving end of beatings that are justified by the Bible, how pansy people react.
I did notice that he didn't say that the Quran is BS. Again, that speaks to he's picking an easier target. When they have access to kids like that.
And so I felt like I myself was bullied, and it was very strange to hear from an anti-bullying speaker that like targeting certain people when he was, preaching acceptance.
But the saddest thing I heard was the crowd clapping for Dan Savage. There was about, I think, 3,000 people up there. And the fact that they were applauding him as he was assaulting religion, as he again was bullying the kids after they'd left. He was calling them pansies and some vile things.
So you can tell the Bible guys in the hall, they can come back now because I'm done beating up the Bible.
But he did that after they left. After they were out of the room, then he approached, called them those names. A show of courage, not.
Later that night, you could, on Twitter, you could tag the convention name, and it just kind of started a ton of people calling all of us, hurtful things, and just saying, oh, those stupid Christians. And so not only were we bullied inside the convention, publicly, but also, over Twitter.
So then we had cyberbullying going on. He's on the President's Council for Anti-Bullying, and he was the biggest bully in the room.
When the majority of people are against you and against what you believe, and they're clapping that you're getting made fun of and ridiculed. And it's going to be scary walking out or standing up for your faith, but it's definitely necessary. And once you're, faced to face with God, and he'll bring up that situation and say, what did you do, to represent me, and standing up for him and being the right decision in that situation.
To help other citizens facing threats to their person, property, or livelihood because they speak up for marriage, please visit www.marriageada.org.